This audio presentation of You Are God is broadcast to you courtesy of MindworthyInfo.com and is presented to you by yours truly, Rasheeal Dixon. The purpose of You Are God is to break down the Bible and to show you that the Bible is nothing more than allegory, and it isn't meant to be taken literally. But throughout the ages, men has been taking the Bible literally, and by doing this, they have diminished the true mystical fact that lies within the Bible. You Are God is here to break down the Bible piece by piece and to show you that all the characters, places, and events are nothing more than different states of man's consciousness personified as characters, places, and events. Brothers and sisters, I thank you so much for joining me for another installment of You Are God. Please come and make your way over to MindworthyInfo.com and subscribe to the newsletter. It is always filled and jam-packed with great teachings. And while you're there, come on over to the YouTube channel, Mystical Thinking with Rasheeal Dixon, for visual representation or visual presentation of these wonderful mystical, metaphysical teachings. Always sure to illuminate your mind. Today we are going to discuss something that many won't bring their focus on. They won't bring their focus on the term, let there be light. People will look at this as a way that what God said, a distant God far from them that created everything, and he said, let there be light. But we can look at this even on a smaller scale before we get into it a little bit more deeper, and we could see that where there is light, a person is able to see. Imagine a person driving on a dark road and their car headlights are out, and the road doesn't even have any street lights. That would be very dangerous because they wouldn't be able to really see what is ahead of them, and they are more prone or more likely to crash their vehicle or get lost because they wouldn't even be able to have the visibility or be able to know where they're going. Because the road is so dark, they might miss a turn. There's darkness, and darkness prevents a person from seeing where they're going. Now, look at the person who is driving on the road and their car has fresh, brand new headlights, and they're feeling like they know where they're going. They have a sense of purpose. They know their direction. They can see ahead of them because the light allows them to see, and they believe and they trust in their abilities, and they trust in the light, and now they can see where they're going. Likewise, the same way is like a person who is filled with darkness. They cannot see where they're going. Their mind is not illumined, and they fall for anything that comes their way. We can look at an individual who is always looking at the world as something that's filled with problems, and joy escapes them, and happiness eludes them. But yet, it seems like problems are always befriending them and always coming closer to them. These individuals have lost their way, and like the person who is driving on a dark road without no headlights, they cannot see where they're going, and they end up lost. Every turn they take, they are seeing nothing but devastation. They are accepting all of the ills of the world, and life is just handing them the same type of situations that they are giving to life, and they are getting it back, and they might claim that they don't like it. It might be hard, it might be hell, it might be everything bad, but by the way that they act, by always contemplating on it in their mind and giving this darkness more light, by giving it attention and focus, and that light is giving them darkness that is keeping them blinded from seeing exactly where they're supposed to go, and that is the problem. We can look at Genesis 1:3, and this is a verse where people will take it literally, and so many will look at this as it is a form. It describes, it tells us how the world was created, and it shows us how creation came about, when realistically this verse actually contradicts every scientific theory that deals with creation or deals with the formation of the world. What this is really speaking of here is a part of man's consciousness that creates his or her own world. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. Genesis 1:3. This verse starts off the Bible. And it is something where we have to dissect. As I always break it down on this show and tell you that the Bible was written by illumined individuals who wrote it in a way where they knew that the masses weren't critical thinkers. So many will take it at face value. But those who wanted to be the mystics and scratch and go beyond the surface will look deeper and will see the hidden meaning, and also will want to find the origins and what certain words mean and certain phrases and put it together. And you will see that it is all about let there be light, by illuminating your mind so you can see your way and you could use your mind and your imagination to build vision. And where there is vision, there is hope. And where there is hope, there is a sense of that it can get done. Light allows you to see. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. So this right here is talking about the heaven and the earth. Especially many religious folks will look at it as the earth that we live in and the heavens above, not understanding the allegory behind this, that the earth and the heaven here is talking about the individual and the life they create on earth, which is their way of thinking that forms their creation and makes who they are and make their world what they want it to be. The heavens is above which is in man is their mind and their thought that creates. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Before a person is awakened and they are filled with the illumination that allows them to see that their own thoughts, feelings, emotions, and everything that they impress on their mind and what they give themselves is what gives them. They are always filled with darkness, and it is void, because we are always in the darkness until we awaken and get illumined and come into the light of who we are supposed to be. Everyone starts off in a form where it is void, and darkness is upon all of us until we can look deeper on the face of the deep here. The face of the deep is the face of the individual who is still behind the 8 ball, still behind seeing that they are the one that is in power. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Water in the Bible is a representation of consciousness. Remember, water is the only substance where it will take the shape of any vessel that it is poured in and be molded in that shape. Likewise, consciousness is the same thing. Your consciousness will take the shape of any vessel that you pour it in, meaning the vessel is whatever you think on or contemplate. If you keep on thinking about your hard situations in consciousness, or thinking about how it's difficult to get a lover, or impressing all types of ills on you, it will take that shape, and that face that you will have will be one that is filled with whatever light that you impressed on your consciousness. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. The Spirit of God moves upon all the faces of the waters of everyone, meaning when you know that I am, and you know what that is and the power of it, that Spirit of God will move upon all types of consciousness or states of consciousness that one might have, and it will create. But this is speaking of the darkness that man has before they step into their illumination to understand who they are. And now when you know it, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. When God is saying, "Let there be light," this is now when you're going through your awakening process and you're stepping into who you are, and you see that this illumination will illuminate your life and allow you to go forward and be the person that you want to be. Because, like what I said earlier, when you're driving to your destination, which is your destiny in life, if your headlights are on, and even if the road is dark, you will see where you're going. You will see that you are headed on the right track. So God said, "Let there be light," is your inner being waking you up to knowing that your awareness is king. Your awareness and your consciousness and the state of consciousness that you accept and agree upon within you is what makes you. Many people keep themselves in a poor state and they accept ills and problems, and so that is what they keep on encountering. It's all based on what you accept here. So now we see that it says, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. When you know that there is light, it is when you are awakened and you step into who you're supposed to be. But let's now break down this term, let there be light, so I can show you the true power of it. Let there be light comes from the Hebrew word Yehayor. Yehayor is made of two words. So we have to break this down and we see the origin and see that it is made of two words. Yehai is the third person masculine singular jussive form of to exist. All right. So now when we break that down and we understand language and see how powerful these words are, what does jussive mean? It's a grammatical mood of verbs for issuing commands or exhorting. And exhorting means strongly encourage or urge someone to do something. So when the authors wrote this and it said, God said, let there be light, it is telling a person, let there be light, because that light is a command. It's a command right here telling you that where there is light, a person is able to be illumined. And when you're illumined, you're able to see all things in your consciousness. You will create and you will shine that light. And it's a form of to exist. You exist when you know who you are. And you just make it, or you barely survive when you don't. Look around. Just think about it. How many people in this world are barely surviving? While those who know this are the ones that are existing. In the Greek Septuagint, the phrase let there be light means come into being. So when we break this down, we see that it means come into being. So in this scripture, the authors are writing it, your inner being, which is your I am, and that God consciousness that is speaking to you. It's saying, let there be light. You shine the light on who you want to be, and it comes into being when you truly believe in it, and you let it go, and you accept, and you assume who you are, and it comes. Yehai or. The word or means light. So again, you see, it is telling you how this light illumines and it shines on you. No one can take your light or steal it from you when you accept who you are. You must know your internal powers and you know your abilities. Because, and the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended not. John 1:5. This verse right here, touching on the light, is very important, because when things are going down and things are going bad, and if you are still true to who you are and you stick with it and you hold on to it, even when people and your friends are probably telling you something different, even when reality is telling you something different, and you stick with it, the darkness doesn't comprehend how the light shineth, but that light will shine through all darkness and through all issues, and it will illumine your way, and it will give you what you speak of. So you think of this Yehai or, and think of how let there be light, and how it is all saying come to existence, to become. It is speaking of being who you're supposed to be, and it is letting you know that power is yours. Many people read this Genesis 1:3 literally and forget it, and they keep on praying and they're believing in God, and they wonder why nothing happens. It's because they're praying to the wrong God. Know who you are, and by knowing that, you will know your power. Think about that, brothers and sisters. As usual, I'm going to leave you with that little snippet, because this is very serious information. So I want to give you piece by piece so you can absorb it, study it, do your own research, and build yourself. Because when you know who you are, you'll know you have the power. Brothers and sisters, please come on over to mindworthyinfo.com, subscribe, and come to the YouTube channel. I want to see you there. Please like, share, comment, and let's interact with each other. You could come on over to Mystical Thinking with Rasheeal Dixon on YouTube and watch some of the videos, share them, like, comment, let's interact, and let's continue to build you up and build your mind and let you see that that light is in you. Now, let us go into the silence. Have a good one.